Hello, I'm Ben. Welcome to the forest. I hope you've brought your project management skills, because today I'm going to teach you Oakspire, the builders of the Sunleaf Grove, a game for 1 to 5 players designed by James Newman and published by Lucky Duck Games. And yes, this hat might be the most ridiculous thing I've ever worn.
Welcome to Sunleaf Grove, where the animal inhabitants are working tirelessly to build a sustainable city for all animal kind in harmony with nature, and they need your help. As one of the new Grove architects, you'll plan projects, organise supply lines, and transform timber into useful tools, beautiful landmarks, and places of work for the animal residents. By carefully drafting multi-use project cards and managing resources, you'll create a cozy tableau while building a glowing reputation for you and your construction team. The player with the most victory points at the end of the game wins.
Enough talk, let's get to work.
To set up, place the neoprene community board in the centre of the table, within easy reach of all players. Shuffle all of the project cards and place them on the left of the community board in the assigned space. This is known as the project deck. Draw 5 project cards from the deck and place them on the designated slots of the community board. Separate the different resource tokens, reclaimed wood, logs, boards, and panels, and split the coin tokens into denominations of 1, 3, and 5. Place all of these within reach of all players. Then, give each player 1 architect token, 1 helper card, 5 random project cards from the deck, 1 coin with value 1, and of course, 1 player board. The player board is split up into several different zones: the woodseek area, the river area, the workshop area, the construction site area, and the blueprint area. We'll talk more about all of these in more detail in just a moment. Be sure to leave some space below your board, as this is where you'll be building a tableau of fulfilled project cards. You can add your chosen architect token to this section of the board, which is there to help you keep track of the number of actions you performed during your turn. Deal out 2 specialty cards to each player. Each one contains a unique ability and objective that its owner will try to achieve in order to gain additional coins and unlock new abilities. We'll talk more about these later. Give everyone a little time to study their hand of project cards and specialty cards. If a player doesn't like their hand of project cards, they can discard all 5 and draw 5 new ones from the deck. Then, have each player choose one of their 2 specialty cards, putting the other one back in the box. Place your specialty card nearby your board. Then, each player places 1 project card of their choice face down on the left of their board like this, in the woodseek area. They then place 1 project card on the right of their board, face up like this, in the blueprint area. Keep watching and you'll get a better idea of why you may want to play certain cards to certain areas. The remaining 3 project cards form the player's starting hand, although during the game there's no limit as to the number of cards you can have in your hand. Your hand is the only aspect of the game that's private information, so keep those to yourself and make sure everything else is visible to all other players. Now, each player counts the number of reclaimed wood icons in their woodseek area. If a player has 2 icons, they place 2 reclaimed wood tokens in their river area. If a player has 3 icons, they place 1 reclaimed wood token in their river area. If a player has 4 icons, don't place any reclaimed wood tokens. Now, choose who's going to go first. It could be the last person who went for a walk in the forest, or choose your own criteria. Regardless of how much reclaimed wood was placed in the previous step, extra resources are now added depending on turn order. The first player doesn't receive any additional resources. The second player adds 1 reclaimed wood to their river area. The third player adds 1 reclaimed wood to their workshop area. The fourth player adds 2 reclaimed wood to their river area, and the fifth player adds 1 reclaimed wood to their river and 1 to their workshop area. Now you're ready to start the game.
Over the course of the game, you'll carefully draft project cards from the community board, which you'll use in a variety of ways: to add resources to your player board, float them downstream, upgrade them, and use them for a variety of cozy constructions which will earn you points and a variety of abilities.
Every turn proceeds in the same way. The active player performs 3 actions, up to 3 players perform the community action, if able. Refill the community board. It's important to note that a player's turn is only over following all 3 of these steps, and you'll find out why that's important a little later on.
Let's talk more about what actions you can do during your turn.
Each turn, the current player performs any 3 actions in an order of their choosing. The same type of action can be performed multiple times during a turn. Your action choices are: draw a card, woodseek, place a blueprint, play a company action, take a wild company action, take a card action. Option 1, draw a card. Take a project card from the community board or directly from the project deck to your hand. Remember, your hand is private and there's no hand limit. Don't refill the community board just yet. That's done later. Option 2, woodseek. Place 1 project card from your hand face down in the woodseek area of your board, with the reclaimed wood symbols facing upward. We recommend not stacking these. so you and other players can see which cards you have available. There's no limit on the number of project cards that can be played in this area. Option 3. Place a blueprint. Place one project card from your hand face up in your blueprint area, showing the card's unique illustration. Again, we recommend not stacking these, so you and other players can see which cards you have available. There's no limit on the number of project cards that can be played in this area. Option 4. Play a company action. Play a project card from your hand, discarding it to the discard pile on the community board, and perform the company action or actions printed on its right-hand side. When there's a slash icon, choose which of the two company actions to perform. Some of the slash cards include an icon like this. If you take the company action showing the coin symbol, you also receive 1 coin from the supply. However, if you can't perform that company action, then you may not take the coin. When there's a plus icon, you can perform one of the company actions listed, or pay a coin to perform both. There are 5 different company actions that will allow you to gain, move, and upgrade the resources on your player board. Collect, float, process, transport, and fulfill. This is what will make up the majority of your actions. So let's talk about each of them in a little more detail. When you play the collect company action, place a number of reclaimed wood tokens equal to the number of icons in your woodseek area. Then discard all cards from your woodseek area to the discard pile on the community board. When you play the float company action, move any number of reclaimed wood tokens from the river area to the workshop area of your board. When you play a card with the process company action, upgrade any number of resources you have in your workshop area by 1 step, following the guide at the bottom of the player board. Reclaimed wood upgrades to logs, logs upgrade to boards, boards upgrade to panels, and panels can't be upgraded. Although each resource can be upgraded only once during a single process action, you can, however, process different types of resources exactly as you see here. Additionally, you can never downgrade a resource. When you play a card with a transport company action, move any number of resources from your workshop area to your construction site area. Reclaimed wood is never required for any project, so you're not allowed to transport that type of resource. When you play a card with a fulfill company action, move any number of resources from your construction site area onto one or more project cards in your blueprint area in order to build them. The resource icons printed on a project card determine the type and the number of resources that must be placed on it. You must move all resources in one go in order to fulfill a project. Additionally, you may fulfill multiple project cards at once. Once you've checked you have all the necessary resources to build a project, remove the resources and return them to the supply. Then, move the constructed project card below your board to your fulfilled project's tableau area, and then gain the reward listed on this part of the card. Rewards can include drawing cards, gaining coins, and adding additional resources to your board. You can reference the rulebook to check the full list of iconography at any time. We'll talk more about the main abilities the fulfilled project cards grant you in just a moment. Option 5. A wild action. If you want to play a certain company action but it's not available to you as a result of what cards are in your hand, or indeed based on what's on the community board, you can always discard 2 project cards from your hand to perform any single company action. Option 6. Card effect action.
Alright, let's talk more about fulfilled project cards.
Each project card has a unique card effect that becomes available immediately after it's been fulfilled. These come in 3 types. Passive abilities, represented by scenes of animals working and relaxing around Sunleaf Grove. Endgame scoring, represented by landmarks. And actions, which are found on the bottom of these sketch-style tool cards, which leads us on to the final thing you can do on your turn as part of your 3 actions. We won't cover all of these actions in this video, but here are some examples. Whichever actions you choose to take, after each one, move your architect token 1 space to the right on your action track. This will help you remember which action you're currently performing.
After the active player has taken all 3 of their actions, we proceed to the community action phase. Now this is technically still part of the active player's turn, so whenever you see any card that references end of turn, that only comes into play after the community action has been completed and after we've refilled the community board, which you'll see in a second.
During the community action phase, the rightmost project card on the community board is moved across to the discard pile. The next step depends on the number of players. In a 2 to 3 player game, all players, starting from the active player and moving clockwise, perform the company action printed on the discarded card, if they're able to do so. In a 4 to 5 player game, only the active player and the 2 players previous in turn order perform the community action, again, starting with the active player and moving clockwise. For clarity, this means that they may perform 1 or 2 company actions, depending on the iconography of the card as we discussed earlier. If you have a passive ability card in play, such as this one, you can use its effect during the community action as well as during your turn as the active player. Once all players have performed the community action, all cards on the community board are shuffled along to the rightmost available slots. Any empty slots are then refilled with cards from the project deck. This officially marks the end of the active player's turn, at which point we check the number of resources in their river, workshop, and construction site areas. Each of these areas has a 6 resource token limit, so if any exceed 6 tokens, discard tokens of your choice until you're back down to a maximum of 6 in each area.
It's important to know that this limit only applies during your turn. If you gain resources during anybody else's turn or another community action, that's absolutely fine, and in fact, it's in your best interest to exploit this fact to maximise the efficiency of your production line.
At the end of all this, move your architect token back to the number 1 slot. It's now the next player's turn.
Remember that specialty card you got given at the start of the game? Let's have a closer look at how those work.
You start the game with a basic ability which will break the game to your advantage in one way or another. Below that is a goal, something that will give you some strategic direction early on in the game. If at any point you complete this goal, even when you're not the active player, you gain the reward listed on the card and immediately unlock the advanced ability at the bottom of the card.
Whew. I know we covered a lot there, so let's rewind a little bit and go over an entire example turn.
It's Mr. Fox's turn. For his first action, he draws the Eiffel Tower from the board. For his second action, he plays the same card for its company action, processing 3 reclaimed wood into logs. He also pays 1 coin to take the transport action too, moving 2 logs across to the construction site. For his third action, Mr. Fox plays a card that allows him to fulfill. He moves 2 logs across to the card in his blueprint area and completes it. Now he discards the resources and moves the card to his tableau area, gaining the reward listed on the card, which is 1 coin. From now on, he can choose to fulfill as a free action without spending a card to do so. Now over to the community action. We slide the rightmost card to the right and into the discard pile, meaning the community action for this turn is collect and/or float. Mr. Fox decides to collect 3 reclaimed wood and pays a coin to take the float action as well, allowing him to float the resources downstream to the workshop. Mr. Beaver chooses to also collect, moving across a whopping 8 reclaimed wood to his river area. He then pays 1 coin to also float, moving everything across to the workshop. Remember, Mr. Beaver only has to worry about the 6 resource limit when he's the active player, meaning he's taken full advantage of this community action. Finally, we shuffle down remaining cards and refill the community board.
The game continues with players taking it in turns until one player fulfills a certain number of project cards, triggering the endgame round.
In a 2-player game, that's 7 cards, in a 3-player game, that's 6 cards, and in a 4-player and 5-player game, that's 5 cards. The player who triggers the endgame round receives 3 coins, and play then proceeds until every other player has had 1 more turn. During this time, all players, including the one who triggered the endgame, take part in community actions as normal.
After one final community action, it's time to score.
All players now count up victory points on cards in their fulfilled projects tableau, victory points from their coins, and victory points from endgame scoring cards in their fulfilled projects tableau. The player with the highest score wins. If one or more players are tied, the one with the most cards in their tableau wins. If the players are still tied, the one with the most resources in their construction site wins. If the players are still tied, then they share the victory.
And that's everything you need to know to play Oakspire. All you need now is the game.
Head to the Kickstarter page now to find out more about the deluxe version of Oakspire, as well as an extra special bundle containing a premium art book, adorable enamel pins, and even a bespectacled beaver plushie.
That's all from me. I've been Ben. This has been Oakspire. See you on Kickstarter. Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. Jesus. That is gross. How do builders do it?